It was a warm summer evening in 2023, and the air inside a New York rehearsal room buzzed with anticipation. Around a long wooden table, a cast of Broadway's finest gathered for the first read-through of The Queen of Versailles, a dazzling new musical that promised glitter, drama, and heart. At the center of it all sat Kristin Chenoweth, the pint-sized powerhouse whose voice could fill a theater and whose energy could light up Manhattan. But even Chenoweth, with all her experience and charm, couldn't hide her nerves. "I was nervous as a whore in church," she joked, her Oklahoma drawl cutting through the tension. Across from her sat Jackie Siegel, the billionaire socialite whose life had inspired the show. Chenoweth had a confession to make. "Jackie," she said gently, "we've been authentic in telling your story. Some of it's going to hurt." Siegel didn't flinch, and by the end of the evening, the two women had become fast friends. That moment set the tone for a musical and a partnership built on honesty, humanity, and heart. Now, 2 years later, The Queen of Versailles has found its royal home at the St. James Theatre, where it's set to open on November 9th. For Chenoweth, it's a full-circle moment. The show reunites her with composer Stephen Schwartz, the musical genius behind Wicked, where she originated the role of Glinda. This new collaboration, however, is something altogether different. A story tailored to her unique blend of comedic sparkle and emotional gravity. The plot centers on Jackie and David Siegel, a billionaire Florida couple who set out to build the largest private home in America, a replica of France's Palace of Versailles. Their lavish dream was a symbol of success until the 2008 recession struck, unraveling their empire and their lives. The 2012 documentary of the same name painted them as symbols of excess. But the musical takes a deeper look, exploring not just the fall of fortunes, but the resilience that follows. "You think you're coming to a comedy," Chenoweth says with a wry smile, "and I definitely give that. But the show is about much more, about loss, love, and what happens when the dream collapses." Indeed, the story doesn't shy away from tragedy. In 2015, the Siegels lost their daughter Victoria to a drug overdose, a devastating reality that deepens the emotional weight of the musical's second act. And earlier this year, David Siegel passed away at the age of 89, adding another layer of poignancy to the show's release. For Chenoweth, embodying Jackie isn't just about mimicry, it's about empathy. Both women come from humble beginnings, driven by ambition that outgrew their small-town roots. Jackie from Endwell, New York, and Kristin from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, two dreamers who dared to reach beyond what the world expected of them. Chenoweth's own life, of course, is a testament to the power of perseverance. She burst onto Broadway in 1997, winning her first Tony Award just 2 years later for You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. From there, her star soared, from The West Wing and Pushing Daisies to Glee and Schmigadoon. But Broadway has always been her true home. Offstage, she channels her success into something deeply personal. Broadway Boot Camp, a summer program she founded a decade ago in her hometown. There, she brings in Broadway veterans to mentor aspiring young actors. One of her former campers, in a poetic twist, now plays Jackie's daughter in The Queen of Versailles. This year's camp concluded with a tribute to her late friend Gavin Creel, a beloved Broadway performer who passed away last year. He was all over that theater that week. She recalls softly, "I believe there are angels. I believe they're watching over us." Faith has always guided Chenoweth, even when it has sparked controversy. She's been outspoken about her Christian beliefs, often clashing with more conservative voices over her advocacy for the LGBTQ+ community. "What's frustrating for me," she explains, "is that we've forgotten what being a real Christian is. Jesus said two things: love one another and feed the poor. He didn't say love one another except the gays, or except the ones who don't believe in me. It's this conviction, to love without exception, that defines Chenoweth as much as her soprano voice or her comic timing. Her compassion shines through in her performances and her personal life alike. She and her husband, Josh Bryant, a country guitarist, split their time between New York and Nashville, living modestly so they can give generously. If my friend needs something, she says, they won't have to want for anything. Despite her relentless optimism, life hasn't always been easy. Chenoweth suffers from a severe form of Meniere's disease, an inner ear disorder that causes vertigo, tinnitus, and migraines. The symptoms once threatened to end her career. Spotlights, paparazzi flashes, flying, all the things I have to do for my job were triggering attacks, she says. Her doctor suggested Botox as a treatment, but she resisted. I said, no way, I need to move my face. And he said, do you want to move your face, or do you want to retire? Eventually, she agreed. The result? Relief, and a barrage of online comments about her appearance. People say I've had too much filler, she laughs. But I have to get 57 shots just to manage the migraines. She shrugs off the criticism, focusing instead on gratitude and her loyal service dog, Thunder, who can sense an attack before it begins. Off stage, Chenoweth is nothing like her sparkling, sequined stage personas. When I'm not in costume, I'm in denim and cozy sweaters, she says with a laugh. At just 4'11" and 90 pounds, she gravitates toward petite friendly brands like ALC, Aritzia, and Cinq à Sept. I don't wear oversized things. They swallow me whole, she jokes. For a recent photo shoot, she surprised herself by pulling off a cream-colored jacket with a large collar. I thought I'd look like Edith Ann, she says, referencing Lily Tomlin's beloved character. But it worked, and I think it's because I loved it. That same mix of confidence and vulnerability defines her both on stage and off. Chenoweth's humor, her humility, and her honesty are what make her irresistible. Qualities that together have made her one of Broadway's most enduring icons. As the Queen of Versailles readies for its grand debut, Kristin Chenoweth stands at a career peak that few ever reach. Yet for her, success isn't about applause or awards, it's about connection. The best part of this show, she says, is watching people laugh, cry, and realize they're not alone in wanting more out of life. That's the magic of theater, and of Chenoweth herself. She can turn a billionaire's rise and fall into a universal story about resilience, love, and grace. As she prepares to step into the spotlight once again, Chenoweth does so with gratitude, humor, and that trademark sparkle that has made her a Broadway legend. Don't even say opening night to me right now, she jokes, feigning a swoon. I'll literally die. But we know she won't. Kristin Chenoweth has survived too much, sung too high, and loved too deeply to stop now. The Queen of Broadway and of Versailles reigns on.